Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Abuza from Group RCDCS 1101E, and my others group representative will represent of our project that called UITM Student Find Program. So first of all, I will explain about the project summary of our group project. So UiTM Student Find Program is a system built to help UiTM staff key in the information of the student file, and the student also can check and pay for their fine without going to HCP office. Before this, students have to write their name and list all their fault that they have do within in a piece of paper, which can be easily destroyed and be lost. So this can cause dishonest and faulty behavior to culprits that can destroy their evidence of what they have done. There will be unresponsibility about the UITM campus law. And other than that, UITM student file program store information for the UITM staff to key in the fine that student receive. The program will keep all the data in the student ID with that student must log in to check their fine to make sure they pay their fine. Some information must be gathered by the program to initialize the fine of the student must by logging in for the program to run. So in the final stage of the calculation, the program will display ID, student fault, and amount payable of the student, and the receipt must be paid to HEP. So let's proceed to the 2.0 objective of the project. The first objective of the project is developing a system that stores all the data of students that disobey the UiTM campus law. Developing a revolutionary system that can be monitored and saved in a computerized system. Developing an opportunity to UiTM staff to help UiTM having a greener environment. So that's all for me. I will pass the representation to my other group representative.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Adam Haikal bin Muhammad Uzi. Today I will present about subtopic 3.0 input process and output. Firstly, specified process. First of all, user will need to choose whether to start the program or not. After that, user will need to register to ensure it's not a bot. User will register their name, UiTM ID and create a password. Next, for function main, please enter your UiTM ID, and second one, please enter your password. After the registration complete, the main operation will begin with determine if string compare registered UiTM ID and registered UiTM is equal to login UiTM ID and login password. Next, for function menu. First, please select SRD, hostel, or vehicle. If SRD, save appearance using array. If hostel, using array. For smoking, forbidden item, dirty room, vandalism, disturbing, and sleep in a restricted area. And last one, if vehicle, using array, not registered vehicle, exceeding the speed limit, not wearing helmet, vehicle impounded, and bring vehicle illegally. We will begin calculation afterward. For calculation, total fine equal fine chosen by student. Last part will be repetition. Repetition is, do you want to enter another fault? Okay. For input, process, and output. First input, name, UiTM ID, password, enter UiTM ID, enter password, type of fault, fault code, and respond. For process, total fine equal fine equal fine of each fault type. For output, name of fault, total fine, and type of fault. Okay, thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mama Aiman bin Mamazin. I am from CDCS 101E. So today I will present about our group project coding and expected output. So first of all, I will present about expected output. Okay, so first, the program will ask the user to register the UiTM file system. So the user need to register and enter the name, UiTM ID, password. So after the registration is done, the program will enter the login section. If the user enter the wrong ID or password, the program will end immediately. But if the user enter the correct ID and password, new will appear. After that, the user need to choose either enter 1, 2 or 3. If the user enter the wrong input, for example 5, the program will ask the user either to continue or not. If the user enter N, the program will end immediately. If the user enter Y, the program will repeat. Okay, so if the user enter the correct input, the list fault will appear. If the user enter 1, the SRD list fault will appear, and then the user need to enter the code based on their mistake. The last output will show the code, name and fine. After that, for the last output will show the code fault, name fault and fine fault. For other example, the hostile list fault will appear, and then the user need to choose based on their mistake. If the input is invalid, so the program will ask again to choose the correct input. And then for example number 3, after the user enter 3, the vehicle list fault will appear, and then the user need to enter the input based on their mistake. If the input is invalid, the program will ask again to enter the correct input. So after that, the last output will show the same code, name and fine. So that's all for expected output. Let's go talk about coding. So this is our group project coding. Like we can see here, for the first column, number 15 until number 32 is used for register and to determine that user are not robot. After that, we can see the second column, number 35 until number 44 right here, are coding after the user successful register, proceed to login. And then from column 46 until 49, we use repetition, do while, and we use if else. This column is used for display menu. If ID and password is 0, if ID and password is same to 0, the program will display the menu. So we use do while at this column, and we use if else. Inside the do while column, we use switch case to determine type of fault. This else column is for coding if ID and password user is not same as 0. After that, we use function. We also use array inside the function, and we use repetition. Same as other function, we use array and repetition inside the function. For other function, we also use array and repetition. For vehicle fault, we use at the same place after the here, and for what hostel is at here, we use 3 times. Okay, so at main function, we call the function to enter the main function. So okay, that's all. Bye bye.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I'm going to discuss about our flowchart. So you can see we have start, integer main. So we have all the fault that in the flowchart that exists in the program. We can see string name, display vehicle list, and we can see the password that you need to put on the program itself. The choice of the program, we have hostile fork. We have 4 options, so it will display integer code, and the code will give the amount of fine and the name of the students, and there will be a receipt if true, and it will be invalid if it's false, and it will start off repetition at the same time. You can see the flowchart. True after false, it will come back and put it as invalid. You can see code 1, code 2, code 3, code 4, code 5, code 6. Next up, we have pseudocode. We can see the procedure, SRD fault, procedure hostile fault, procedure vehicle fault, and then we have procedure main, string name, password, enter password ID, entered ID, registration integer, IC type. So we can see the output, registration UIT and file system. This is the main login program. This is where you type your name, your UITM ID, your password. After the registration is complete, the program will start itself and ask for your UITM ID and password that you registered. You can see the if repetition, the selection control sequence. If ID equals entered ID and password equals entered password, output welcome student menu. So the student will have to choose which of the categories of fine they are held for. We have self-appearance 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have 1, 2, 3, and then if they input the number other than 1, 2, and 3, the program will output invalid type fault. Output, please enter Y to continue system. Y is equal to yes. So else output, if the user enters this, an invalid password or an invalid ID, the program will end itself. Please save the statement. And then we have the array find. The array is keeping the fine prices 50 ringgit, 30 ringgit and 20 ringgit. And we can see the procedure hostile for and every array code that is forbidden, and you can see the array is keeping all the data of faults in there, and you can see display hostile fault, output code fault find RM. This is the receipt. This is the output receipt when you get all the information that you have entered. And you can see here another another example, and you can see it will always display the same output, and it will continue with any other fault. Another thing we have our discussion. Our discussion is based on user registration and authentication. So with this, I think we can improve our security measures such as encryption for storing passwords of users. So basically we can make the opportunity bigger by advancing our program. Apart from that, menu-driven system enhance the user interface by providing more detailed information about each fault category. So each fault category must be sometimes students are new, so we can have an explanation of the fault in each categories. Apart from that, find categories. We can use data structures like struct or class to better organize information about each fault category. Consider adding a description field for each fault category to provide more context to users. User input validation. Include more robust input validation to handle unexpected user inputs. Provide informative error messages to guide users on valid inputs. Apart from user input validation, the number 5th we have user interaction. Implement a more user-friendly interface with clear instructions and prompts. So we can see the clear instruction, that is the program that is not complicated to be run on. Apart from that, consider incorporating graphical elements or GUI for a more intuitive user experience. For a better graphical, and we can see a better version of this program. Improvements and future development. I think this program can integrate a database to store users' information and fault records for better scalability. Implement a feature for users to view their fine history and payment status. I think this is a very good opportunity for users to check on their spent fine, if you can call that. Error handling. Enhance error handling by providing specific error messages for different scenarios. Implement a system to temporarily lock accounts after multiple failed logins. Attempts to prevent brute force attacks. I think that so in conclusion, summary, the provided pseudocodes outline a feasible solution. We have our conclusion. So our conclusion, the UITM find system source code demonstrates the functional approach to categorizing and managing students' faults related to self-appearance, hostile in vehicles. While the code provides the foundation for a find system, several areas can be enhanced, such as security measures, users, and error handling. integrating encryption, improving the user interface, and implementing a database for storage are recommended for a robust system in the pseudocode and flowchart. Thank you very much.